Hello and welcome back to the How I Ripped Off Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcast. My name is Chip Thompson, I remembered this time, and I'm joined as always by Mr. MC.
I think that would be me.
Pretty sure it is, unless I've swapped you out for a younger model. And this is episode 24 of season 3, Here, part 2. What happened last week, MC?
Well, there was an anticlimax.
Of all anticlimaxes.
The ninjas were on their way to hit the police station.
Yeah.
And then there was no one there.
No. That was it.
Basically. But there was a little bit of a thing about how when the cat's away, the demon criminal vampire mice are out to play in Tokyo.
You say that could actually be a literal thing in this series.
It would not surprise me.
Yeah.
Well, we have a demon rat, so...
Yeah, the
Smuggle
demon. Yeah, well done, with the giant fleas.
MC and Chip have taken upon themselves to protect all of Tokyo by themselves from every criminal and demon ever.
We're back on another side quest is where we are.
Indeed.
Because the ninjas were ready to go and hit the police station to get information on Harato about this mysterious Mr. Johnson and the Prime Minister of England and why they need to go and take him down. But they got to the police station, there was no one there. Harato left a mocking note.
Damn him.
Now they have to protect Tokyo, like you said. Another distraction from the ninjas, from getting them to where they need to be. Are they going to have time to stop Harato after all of this is done? That's what I want to know. So let's find out. This is Here, part 2. Previously on Tamora Gayson. We can't let this thing happen. We need to go to the source and end it. Now.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
MC asked, a little shocked that Chip was here, giving orders. Chip nodded. We're going to hit the police station, he said. But they didn't. The bowling alley's neon sign shines like a beacon, illuminating the dark street in its green and red glow. Although all the letters didn't shine, so it read, Be-ling all.
Bling wasn't a word back then, was it?
Was it not? When did bling become a thing?
When
did the bling thing get a ring?
Yo.
Sing, ling, king.
God.
So we're white, in case you hadn't realised. But we're at a bowling alley, MC.
I'm still intrigued that you predated. You originated the term bling.
I was the first influencer, it's true. Yeah, through this.
Yes.
MC thought back to one of his first ever dates with Tifa, when zombies, whilst bowling, had attacked them. Yeah, it was because this is Tokyo's premium #1 bowling alley.
Do you think it's the same one, though?
It is. Thought back to one of his first ever dates with Tifa.
Yeah, but maybe it's the bowling alley just reminded him.
There's only one bowling alley in Tokyo, MC.
There's one #1 bowling alley, which does suggest more than one bowling alley.
No.
So it's only technically the #1 bowling alley because it's the only bowling alley.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. It's run by zombies. It can't be the #1. MC thought back to one of his first ever dates with Tifa, when zombies whilst bowling had attacked them. In fact, none of the dates he and Tifa had gone on had never run smoothly, whether it was zombies or the mafia. Oh, we've all been there. Tale of my life. Can't have a Tinder date for the mafia or zombies showing up.
I just remember MC mercilessly judging people who have spaghetti bolognese. But then Tifa did it, and he was like, "Oh no, it's fine."
I made a spaghetti bolognese the other night.
Yeah, but MC in this one thinks it's a very basic thing to do. If you
Is
go
that what
for
you
an
thought when I
Italian
was in the
restaurant.
kitchen?
I was like, God, you're so boring. Never go on a date with you.
I invented bling, so yeah. MC had come back to the bowling alley as he knew it was extremely popular with the living and the dead.
So, okay, the police have all law enforcement, all law and order has left one of the major cities in the world, and your first thought is, quick, to the bowling alley!
It's the hub of information that flows through the city, MC. The living and the dead mixing all together. Ooh, what information cookies could come out of this?
Information cookies.
It's a regular bakery of knowledge. I invented bling. So far, he hadn't seen any sign of trouble, but his spider sense told him he wasn't far away from it.
Ninja spider sense.
Yeah. He leant a hand on the glass window and peered inside. The place seemed to be hopping.
Any coolness you had by inventing the term bling has just been destroyed.
Because I invented bling, but I also brought back the term hopping.
One was more successful than the other, I think.
Hopping. Lots of people having a good old time rolling balls and knocking down skittles, playing pool, and have I ever been bowling at this point in my life? The place seemed to be hopping. Lots of people having a good old time rolling balls and knocking down skittles, playing pool and pushing coins into the many arcade games. Shame they were all zombies.
What is the attraction that zombies have to bowling alleys?
Is it like when you get bitten by a zombie, you develop a taste for brains and the wish to go bowling?
Fair enough. Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. It's part of the disease. MC couldn't see any sign of human beings, so he hoped there would be no corpses apart from the many animated ones who were bowling. He pushed open the double glass doors and stepped inside.
Do you think Jason will be back again?
I really hope Jason is back so I can offend all of Australian listeners again. Because at the end of the last episode, MC and Chip kind of split up so they could cover more ground in Tokyo, and MC's going for a bit of a bowl apparently. The notorious Street of War, as it was known, happened to be a lot quieter than Chip had ever seen it.
It sounds like a Steven Seagal film, like one of his ones for the last 5 years where he has a budget of like 10 grand.
It would definitely be 50p in Asda. Not that he came down here that much. Even his ninja skills weren't going to do a lot against a gang of racist triads with guns.
It's the racist part that's the worst.
He felt a tingle on the back of his neck and realised what a dumb thing he had done. There's ninja spider sense there again. Mm-hmm. Chip turned around and saw the massive gang of Japanese men who were following him. They all held metal poles, chains, or planks of wood.
It's the DIY Japanese triads. Speaking of racist, I think triads are Chinese, but you said they're Japanese, so...
Yay! Well...
These damn racist triads keep saying they're not Chinese.
Look, we've established Chip as a Tory in this, alright? Hates the homeless, and he thinks all Asians are the same. This is what he is, Tory Chip. That's why he was evil.
There's a bunch of Japanese dudes who have been to B&Q, and Chip is like, oh my god, racist triads.
What, the B&Q on the notorious Street of War? Chip had read stories of these guys. They were well trained in all types of fighting styles and could handle themselves with a weapon. Chip was surrounded as more came out of the buildings by about 20 of them. What? Chip was surrounded as more came out of the building by about 20 of them. Oh, so he's surrounded by about 20 of them. Yeah, more have come out of the buildings, but it's a bad sentence.
It almost looks like he's saying about 20 buildings worth of...
So there are some cops left. He drew out his size and said, I'm guessing we can't sort this out over a cup of tea. Witty Chip's back.
Hey, good. I missed those one-liners.
Yeah, it's good to have a bit of humour back with him, isn't it?
Yeah, rather than just racism and hatred of the homeless.
One young man lunged forward, swinging wildly with his knuckle dusters and screaming. Chip stepped to his right and used the attacker's own momentum, sending him crashing into two of the men behind Chip. They hit the floor out cold.
Thank God there's a white guy here to show Japanese people how to do martial arts.
And I'm really glad they're doing that thing where they all attack one by one as well, you know? They may look tough, Chip thought, but they go down easy, which is good to know. Okay, that's a bit of insight there from Chip.
Sure, okay, strategy.
I mean, if they go down easy, are they that tough?
Well, they look tough.
Oh, they
he
look
said,
tough, right?
Because of all the planks of wood.
Yeah, but he definitely knows more martial arts though, so it's fine. Another stabbed a plank of wood at him.
Like,
How do you stab a plank of wood at someone?
this is the worst fucking criminal gang ever. Like, can we have guns? No, you get a plank of wood.
There's some driftwood they found on a beach or something.
You get some PVC pipe.
Here's your shells. Once you finish attacking, you can hear the ocean. Another stabbed a plank of wood at him. Chip grabbed hold of the other end, pulled the thug in, and landed with a massive right hand. Chip used the bit of wood in his grasp like a frisbee and took down 3 more of the gang. I actually thought these guys were going to be a bit intimidating, considering they're from the notorious Street of War. And Chip's just like, he hasn't even broken a sweat yet. I don't think he's moved from the spot that he's been in.
Also, there was mention of them having guns, but they just have planks of wood.
Yeah. Maybe that was all a rumour they started. They just were like, yeah, we've got guns. We've totally got guns. The notorious Street of War, guns. Chip just started to think that things were going his way when he felt something blunt hit the back of his head.
Was it a plank of wood?
He fell forwards into the group and they pounced, poking and kicking at his body. Chip could already feel the blood running down the back of his head from the earlier blow.
I like how they're poking at his body. Like they just got their finger out and they go, get him!
Yeah, why aren't they using their planks of wood? Come on, guys. I feel like Chip went from being really awesome and badass to taking on these 20 people at once to just suddenly getting hit on the back of the head and he's down.
Well, I mean, he was surrounded by buildings.
Oh, maybe a building hit him. That would make more sense.
Yeah.
Knowing he couldn't stay down for long, Chip swiveled on his shoulders, raising his legs as he did so, and kicked the thugs closest to him away.
So it says kick the thug's closet to him away.
So they've got a closet as a weapon.
That's what hit him.
Someone picks up a closet, hit him around the back of the head, and he's like, I've got to take that closet out first. Flipping himself up with his arms and legs, Chip was back to his feet. The gang grew weary of Chip's fighting skills, but that didn't stop them coming forwards. The only method of fighting they understood was straightforward.
Hit him with a closet or a plank of wood. Just any sort of carpentry thing, really.
They've been down the IKEA for that closet. It's right next to the B&Q. This was handy for Chip, as he was able to throw them off balance by weaving and dodging their punches, kicks and swings. Every opportunity he got, he made sure he got a shot in to keep the gang off his back. Sometimes Chip couldn't help but get cornered, but with a handy leap or a swinging kick that provide a momentary gap in the hordes of the gang. So he's fighting smart here. You know, he's going for the long game. Mm-hmm. Hit and move.
Avoid the closets.
Yeah. Float like a butter bean and sting like a cow. Whatever it was. Finally, after what seemed like hours, Chip defeated the gang by shoving their leader through the windscreen of a nearby car. When they saw a man they looked up to beaten, they all backed off and ran. Well done, Chip. He survived a 20-man beatdown there, and building beatdown, and closet beatdown. He's done really well for himself. I like how, at the start of this episode, MC's looking through the window of a bowling alley, and Chip's fighting 20 men on the notorious streets of war. I really wish I'd called the episode Notorious Streets of War.
Ah, yes.
It'd be so much better than what it's actually called.
Which is?
Here.
Yeah.
It's what you say when you're doing the register at school. Chip breathed a sigh of relief. He would have been able to take the lot of them, but not without getting caught himself a few times. He turned to walk away, but someone got in his way.
What did you do?
This man, who was actually a vampire, said. Chip looked at him quizzically. Another joined this one vampire, then 2 more, and then 3 more. Soon, the group of vampires was equal in numbers to that of the gang of thugs Chip had just fought with. Level 2. You chased away our meal, a different vamp said.
We'd be tracking them for hours,
another growled. So, let me get this straight, Chip asked. The gang of street muggers I just fought with was being tracked by a gang of vampires who were going to kill them anyway?
Yeah, seems that way. Looks like we're going to be needing a new meal.
The vampires looked at Chip hungrily as he wondered if he was going to make it through the night. Oh, a tough start for Chip here.
It's a tough old night, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the notorious Street of War.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. It's because there's just different waves of enemies every time.
And do any of the vampires have planks of wood?
I hope there's like a gang of zombies after this that are coming to like eat the vampires. And Chip's just like, oh, for God's sake, come on, give me a break. Another point that's going to come up from that then. So, the vampires were going to go and kill the street muggers and eat them, right?
Yeah.
has Chip murdered them, or is he just kind of knocked them out to fight and get away? Because it seems like he beat their leader up and then they all ran away.
Yeah.
Because it's always that thing in TV shows, well, this isn't a TV show, but you know what I mean, like it was
Yeah.
meant to be like that, where they're like, oh, we can't kill humans, but we'll kill, we'll do demon genocide, that's absolutely fine. So, is Chip saying that he wish he just let the vampires eat the gang?
I think so. Maybe for him the difference is that he didn't kill them himself.
Yeah, I guess he's gone through a lot of effort to take them out when someone was about to do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe the gang would have taken some of the vampires. They had a lot of wood.
True.
The planks would have been handy.
And the closet.
Yeah. The big crash came from outside of the antique shop. Jay jumped up, startled.
What was that?
His voice quivered. The looters have made it to next two, Louise replied. Although I'm not sure where they're robbing an Indian takeaway. What?
Good typos there.
Oh god, the looters have made it
To next door is
Oh,
what it's
yeah.
meant to be.
Although I'm not sure where they're robbing an Indian. Oh, shit the bed on that one. She was standing by the window, peering out. From the back room, Dom started to chuckle. What's so funny? The guy next door shortchanged me once, Dom said as he re-entered the shop area. He was due his comeuppance. Wow, Dom holds on to a grudge, doesn't he? Jesus.
Not going to get that 12p back anytime soon.
I mean, he's next door. He could have just popped back in and gone, oh, sorry, look, you shortchanged me. No, he's like, I'm glad they're dead. Louise and Jay stared at Dom. He looked back innocently. What? Aren't you supposed to be getting hold of your friend? Louise asked. He is a difficult person to find.
Where do we need this guy anyway?
Jay said, I really like the word where, apparently.
You don't like the word why?
It's multifunctional. Apparently, he can get us to England cheaper than the airlines can.
Why do we want to go back there?
Jay wondered. Why is it Louise and Jay always end up doing the exposition for like the overall arc of all the stories and stuff?
They need something to do.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's just low-fat butter and Slipknot.
Louise sat down and started to explain everything to the confused Jay about the primal evil they had been fighting in the Tokyo police force and how that angel had told them they needed to go to England to stop it again. Previously on Tomorrow Jason. Another thing that's worrying me, Louise said as she finished explaining. Those looters aren't too far from us.
I doubt they would want anything from a shop like this anyway.
Jay shrugged.
There's no Slipknot. Or...
He's had a good look round. He always looks for Slipknot whenever he goes into a new place, does Jay? Hey, look, an antique shop, one of the looters yelled. I bet there's loads of stuff in there. It's a really posh looter, that's why he's going for the antique shop. The looter tried to walk in the front door, but the magical barrier surrounding the shop did its job. See, I told you that barrier would hold. Dom smirked.
It's magic.
Another looter said.
Don't worry, I know how to bring it down.
Once again, Jay and Louise shot glances at Dom.
There's still... I think it's still meant to be that magic and vampires and demons are still meant to be unknown to the general public. But after everything...
Do you mean after the one rampage through the city of Tokyo?
Exactly.
No, it was a rhino MC, don't you remember? It was an escaped animal. I mean, it was always like this in Buffy and Angel as well. There were numerous murders and creepy going-ons, but somehow it was still all underground.
Yeah.
Although, allow me to defend 15-year-old me for a second. So, all the kind of evil things in Tokyo know the Tokyo police force are no longer around. So maybe it makes sense that all the evil wizards and magicians, all the vampires and zombies are all out and about now.
Looting Indian takeaways.
Yes, exactly.
They're like, at last! I can loot the Indian takeaway!
They shortchanged me once. MC remembered that chopping heads off zombies was more fun than this. He had so far destroyed the undead lives of about 15 creatures, but they kept coming. It was a big bowling alley.
Well, it is the number one.
Yeah. And all the zombies love it, apparently.
You're just a racist.
One zombie yelled as he watched MC kill one of his friends. No, that's Chip. Remember? That's Chip. Chip is the racist. MC replied by decapitating him too. He sighed after and looked around for the next monster to slay. A strong blow sent MC flying across the paying counter. Is that a thing? A paying counter? He looked up and saw a huge zombie. MC could already see that this was no ordinary brain-eating and slow-walking brain-eater.
Well, he is racist, isn't he? Brain-eating brain-eater. go back to brain land.
Go back to your bowling alley, you brain-eating brain eater. He was at least 9 feet tall, arms like tree trunks, and a face that craves human blood. Sounds like one of my exes.
I love that description. What do they look like? Well, they got a face that craves human blood. Oh yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
Descriptions like this is always not a strong point, but a point of mine from back in the day. I think it's just, I kind of got to the point where I was like, right, this is new monster. What does he look like? He's fucking massive, and he's got a face that craved human blood. His rotting flesh smelt decades old, and it seemed that he was in fact a she, as another zombie shouted.
Kick his ass, Shirley! Shirley?
MC asked as he leapt onto the counter. Shirley swept MC off the counter with one swing of her mighty arm. The ninja landed just by the racks of bowling shoes. He noticed something out of the corner of his eye. A baseball bat. In the bowling alley. Cool. Wasn't there a baseball bat in Dom's antique shop last week as well?
There was.
Yeah.
They're just everywhere. Japan is big on baseball, I think.
It is.
So that explains it. Well, what an amazing bit of research you did in this.
Now MC knew that a sword was a better weapon to use against a zombie. You could cut heads off left, right and centre, but with a bat you'd need sufficient force and many hits to incapacitate a zombie's brain.
Is this all leading up to a Don't Call Me Shirley joke?
I mean, it may do. It may just be that I thought Shirley was a silly name for a giant zombie.
Fair enough.
But, I don't know, would I rip Airplane off?
Had you seen Airplane at that point?
Yeah, I think so. I think I saw it when I was a young kid, so yeah, it's quite possibly coming, yeah. Yes, human! Shirley bellowed. My name is Shirley. I am one of the oldest creatures that belongs to my race. I've heard stories of you and your dislike of us. I believe I also know an old adversary of yours, a zombie by the name of Jason. He often spoke of the many battles you had with him and how he beat you down. Jason made the mistake of letting you go. I will not do the same.
Oh, Jason's been telling some porkies, hasn't he?
He has. He's been giving it the big one to Shirley. Oh, do you think Jason and Shirley have ever dated? I bet Jason's madly in love with Shirley.
Aww.
And that's why he's
trying to impress her.
He's showing off a bit, yeah. Oh, I really hope Jason comes back. And Shirley, and I want a spin-off with Shirley and Jason. MC popped up from behind the counter and walloped the top of Shirley's head with the baseball bat. She staggered back as pieces of brain and skull fell off her head. MC followed up the attack with the bat, leaving his sword behind the counter.
I hope that Jason still finds her attractive.
Even though she's got like a crashed-in brain. Yeah. I feel like he shouldn't have left his sword, though.
Well, maybe this will explain it. These past months haven't been any fun whatsoever.
MC said.
I need to have more fun in my life. With that in mind, it's skull-crushing time.
He declared.
If you're having a shit day, why not hit some heads with a baseball bat?
I mean...
Always cheers me up.
Yeah, it sounds very therapeutic.
Yeah, I guess you can see that.
They do that in yoga, don't they? The shop window looked family, but Chip wouldn't be able to make any final decision as to what shop window he had just been thrown through until he could wipe the blood away from his eyes.
So, like, is it a brother or a sister? Or, well, actually, I'm 1/4 window. Yeah, it's my...
Second cousin to the door.
He's not related to any closets, is he?
Oh, God. I feel like there was a small period of time where I didn't make too many grammatical errors, at least huge ones like this. There's always the usual theirs and that sort of thing. But the shop window looked family. God damn. The battle with the vampires had been brutal and had ended up in the middle of the town centre. He had taken many blows, and with his face not completely healed from his encounter with Evangelina, Chip's face was a crimson mask. His clothes were covered in strange concoction of human blood and vampire dust. I feel like that would congeal, it'd all mix together. But at the present time, it was the least amount of his problems. God damn.
It's like, oh God, run into a fucking shop window family member again. After that Christmas has always been a bit awkward.
So the fight with all the vampires has taken him from the notorious Street of War into the town centre of Tokyo.
The notorious town centre of war.
A vampire pulled Chip up and knocked him straight back down. He fell onto a shelf of some kind. How many kinds of shelves are there? Which collapsed into 1,000 pieces under his weight. As the same vampire tried to bite down on his neck, Chip used a bit of the shelf to stake the vamp. It gave Chip the chance to clear his eyesight. When he did, he saw the type of shop he was in. Chip smiled. The first real smile he had across his face in a very, very long time. Is he in a Pizza Hut or something? Is that what he is? He reached for the first gun, which just happened to be a loaded shotgun, and blasted the next few vampires that entered.
Let's go to the loaded shotgun shop, where they just put loaded shotguns just everywhere, all these flimsy shelves.
Well, allow me to interject here, MC.
Uh-huh.
It's obviously a family-run business, judging by the window. So maybe the store owner had loaded a gun because he knew all the looters were coming.
Okay, sure.
And that's why
That's
there's
a
just a
good
shotgun
point.
lying around that's loaded. When the last shell fell out of the shotgun, Chip looked around for another weapon. His gaze came onto the wall at the back of the shop, where a large minigun rested on the wall.
Oh, those Japanese minigun shops.
They don't have a lot of gun control in Japan, do they, clearly?
Is that why the street gang didn't have any guns earlier? Because this shop has them all.
They're only for legal reasons. Like, if you're on the right side of the law, you can have a gun.
Otherwise, it's a plank of wood.
The remains of the vampire gang came into the shop looking for their meal. All they found was a storm of bullets as Chip unloaded the huge chain of bullets. I mean, it's kind of a cool visual. Ninja with a minigun.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just the whole... yeah.
Yeah, it's just the whole everything. The vampires that hadn't had half of their limbs shot off scurried from the shop to the outside. Chip grabbed the weapon that had been next to the minigun and took after them. He aimed the rocket launcher at the fleeing vamps and fired. This is in the town centre of Tokyo, this shop.
Mum, can I have a rocket launcher?
I like the way it just escalates as well from shotgun, minigun, rocket launcher. I hope he finds a nuke next. So he's aimed the rocket launcher at the fleeing vampires. The vampires turned to dust as their remains were burnt away, and the chemist they were running past exploded. Oh, I really hope there was no one in that. Oops, Chip said, but deep down he knew with the police out of commission he wasn't exactly going to get into trouble when every other shop in Tokyo was alight too. MC and Chip are having a lovely time, aren't they? MC's got a baseball bat, he's caving in skulls. Chip's got a variety of different large weapons.
Yeah. It's turning into like GTA Tokyo for Chip.
I bet they're like, I'm really glad Harato pissed off. Like, this is amazing. I haven't had this fun in ages. This could be weirdly therapeutic for Chip.
It could be.
Yeah.
Well, previously we were saying that he needs to get in touch with his feelings and talk more and communicate more. All he really needs to do is shoot a minigun and a rocket launcher and blow up a chemist.
It's better than those like padded sticks he hit things with. They're getting through, Louise screeched. Jay pushed her to the floor as the looter brought down the protective barrier around the shop and ran into the shop. Jay used a rugby tackle to take him down, but his friend, the other man who had been stealing from the various shops along their street, kicked Jay in the face. Jay, Louise started to say.
Stay back,
He replied, standing up on wobbly feet.
I'll handle this.
His voice quivered. The two men laughed at Jay. He was considerably shorter than them, and this was their profession.
Their profession. What do you do for a living? Well, I steal from Indian takeaways.
Professional antique shop looters. Would you like to see my business cards? There you go. Need a magical barrier taken down? I can do that as well.
No shop too small.
Jay reached for the kendo stick inside his belt and flicked his wrist, which triggered the opening mechanism.
I'm not going to make any jokes this time. I feel like last time was enough.
The kendo stick extended and became its intended length. Still nothing?
Can't
No.
go.
Do you even know how to use that? One of the looters mocked.
Come find out.
Jay said with about all the conviction of a nun.
Those nuns, they're wishy-washy, aren't they? Can't get a straight answer out of any of them. Do you believe in God? Yeah.
I'm going to start using that. Well, you said that with all the conviction of a nun. The robber ran at Jay, who spun round and dug an elbow into the guy's lower back. His partner in crime also charged. This time, Jay dropped his head and sent the thug up into the air and crashing back down again. Like a back body drop in wrestling. Cool. The two men got back to their feet as Louise looked on in astonishment. This time, they came forwards at the same time. Jay dug the weapon into the ground and used it like a pole vault to elevate himself, kicking the first guy who reached him in the face.
What?
The second was met with a cracking blow to the head by the stick.
What's going on with Jay?
Hell yeah, Jay's been working on a little something, I think. Jay allowed them to get to their feet again, this time saying,
"Leave now and never come back."
The looters ran as quickly as they could and didn't stop, even when they got out of the shop. Jay forced himself to breathe and nearly flopped onto the ground. Now, Jay getting a bit sexy here. Yeah. Wow! Louis said, slightly impressed but not wanting to show it. Friends just saved your life, mate. Like,
yeah, well, whatever. I was thinking the same thing.
Jay replied. From the back room of the antique shop, John put his hand down, releasing the power magic he had just invoked into Jay.
Oh.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like, why hasn't Dom done anything? He's a magician, but there you go. Oh. The two zombies left were making a break for it, with one slightly in front of the other. They were heading for the bowling alleys, probably for a back entrance. Oh, the bowling alleys, as in the alleyways. Oh. So I was right.
Okay.
That was just a weird way of putting it. MC caught up to the first and caved in its skull with the bat.
Laughing the whole time. Whee, this is fun.
The other was getting away pretty quickly, so MC threw himself, spelt incorrectly, to the floor, gliding down the polished alley and going through the last zombie's legs. MC reached for the bowling ball at the alley, got back to his feet and launched it at the oncoming animated corpse. Oh, it was hard to get that sentence out.
I got a visual though, some cool shit going on.
It hit the floor. MC went over to check and saw the ball had flattened the zombie's head.
That was fun,
MC said. But it wasn't over yet. One more zombie was crawling for the front door. He wasn't quite dead again. MC dashed over to him and rested his foot on the crawling zombie. Lifting the bat high, MC brought it down with so much force that the zombie's head exploded and splashed up the glass doors. MC dropped the bat and left.
A little bit sadistic on MC's part,
Yeah,
but I guess they're zombies.
It's a bit Negan, actually, from Walking Dead. Yeah, I called that as well. If MC had a leather jacket, it'd be perfect.
He does. Wait, doesn't he?
Does he have a suede jacket? I think it was suede, wasn't it?
Okay.
Sorry. Although I like that I'm making up for part one with all this action. we always say it, part one is a setup, part two is where it all happens. But last week's episode was particularly boring.
Now rocket launches.
And we had to make so many dick jokes last week to make up for it. But now look at us, we haven't had to make one.
No dick joke. We even purposely didn't make a dick joke.
It's just too much going on, MC. It's too exciting.
Don't need any more big guns in this episode.
Chip used his stake to finish off the last few vampires that were rolling around the gun shop floor in agonising pain. He didn't like to make their suffering end too quickly, but he knew that within a few hours the wounds caused by the minigun would have completely healed. The shop's carpet became a pool of dust.
Please,
the last vampire pleaded. Let's make a deal, Chip said. Take me to the place where all you lowlifes like to hang out, and I'll let you live. The vampire nodded, and Chip dragged him to his feet.
Is he going to take his minigun?
It depends if he's out of bullets or not, I guess. You know what I mean? Because conveniently miniguns run out quite quick, don't they? When in video games, when you pick one up and you're like, this is awesome, I want it all the time. MC walked down the cold steps and thought that from the outside, the bar looked a lot like Cheers. Inside was a different story. Demons, vampires, zombies, and even a human scum sat at tables, drinking things which looked like cocktails. No, it does look like a pina colada, I'll give you that. He noticed something had all the scum's attention. Scum's a good word. Then MC saw Chip on the other side of the bar, staking a limping vampire. Listen up, Chip demanded. A hush fell over the bar. I'm sure most of you pigs are aware, and are planning to take advantage of later, that the police are out of commission for a while. But that doesn't mean this city is unguarded.
You know who we are,
MC added.
And if you're not, come over and find out.
Ooh.
Scum.
Pigs. So you lot better stay in this flea pit or get the hell out of town, as Tokyo is under our protection now.
And you'll find we have a no-tolerance policy when it comes to everyone in here and all your friends. Better spread the word that if anyone is taking over this town, then it's going to be us ninjas.
Chip and MC left through the doors that MC had just come in and saw the look of fear in the eyes of the bar's customers.
We're alphas
Yeah.
now.
I liked when they walked in slow motion,
Yeah.
like some sort of cool song was playing on the jukebox.
Did they just happen to both go to the bar at the same time?
I'm wondering if MC got information about the bar from the zombies. MC got it. Chip got it from the vampire,
Maybe.
and they did sort of coincidentally get there around about the same time.
And they were like, let's pretend we both knew because they looked really cool.
Yeah. Well, obviously Chip got there first, started making the speech, and MC was like, "Oh, I want a piece of this." But it's interesting that I guess this bar is a huge hangout for all the bad things in Tokyo, and if they spread the word there, then it will get back to everyone that
Sure,
the
makes
city's
sense.
protected now.
Yeah.
Back inside the antique shop, MC, Jay and Louise were exchanging stories of their night's escapades. Chip sat on the other side of the shop, reading one of the ancient texts. It was something about a ring of power. Okay. Well,
Sure, okay.
he had that unfamiliar feeling of satisfaction that he had done good tonight. He'd beaten down a gang of would-be muggers, shot a bunch of vampires, and warned the rest of the lowlives in Tokyo to keep a low profile. Not bad for a day's work. If it was for the death of Evangelina, the guilt of trying to kill his friends, and his inner struggles, then he might even have been happy. I mean, if it wasn't for the death,
Yeah.
because he's just really happy about all these things. Oh,
I'm happy she died.
Yeah, you are. Dom finally came off the phone and rejoined the others in the shop. "There's good news and bad news," he said.
Give us the bad news now,
MC replied.
so we have something to look forward to.
"Okay, well, firstly, the only way my friend can get you across to England is tomorrow night. It'll cost you about £300 each, and you have to share a boat with some refugees who are entering the country illegally."
The old human smuggling route from Japan to England that goes via ship.
I bet they'll be there in like half an hour or something as well. Yeah, I feel like these are the sort of guys MC and Chip should take down.
A boat?
Jay asked.
As in ships and water and pirates?
He had enough fear for one night. "Don't worry, Jay. There's not many pirates around in these oceans. What's the good news?" Louise asked. "The battle you're about to take on will probably kill you all."
And I'm sick of you all.
I feel like Dom hasn't quite grasped the concept of good news, bad news. MC thought for a moment.
How is that good news again?
"Oh, it's not," Dom replied. "I just don't believe in giving the bad news first. Probably should have mentioned that." Right, Dom. Jesus. "Looks like we got that kamikaze mission after all," Chip said. MC nodded in agreement. The thought of losing his friends more than his own life scared him half to death. More than he would admit to.
You game?
Chip nodded. And that's the end of Here, Part 2.
I think it was probably the most exciting episode we're going to have in a while.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We're into the end game now, you know.
True,
We're into
true.
the home stretch of this season, but it was pretty good. A lot more happened than last week. I'm happy.
It's like that bit in a TV series when there's like really kick-ass action scene.
Yeah. It's like I feel like all the budget would have gone onto the second part of that. But I guess the side quest is over. Yeah.
Although they've said, Tokyo's under our protection. Right, we're going away for a week and we're probably going to die.
They're going to leave Jay in charge. I guess if as long as all the scum and pigs think that they're still around, that'll be enough. You know?
Although they did instantly know when the police had left.
And took over the town in like 10 minutes. Yeah. Those looters have just got to figure out that Indian takeaway is not protected again, and those professional looters will be back. But yeah, it looks like all the side quests are finally done, MC.
Yeah.
The human traffickers are here to save the day.
Hooray!
Should we see what next week's episode is called?
Let's do it.
Next week's episode is called High Tide. So we get some more water-based episodes.
Yay.
That'll be fun.
Do you just really like pirates? Do you just really want to go for a nice sail?
I really do think Pirates of the Caribbean must have come out around the time I was writing this season. So maybe that's going to be... Well, there's going to be one more episode on the sea. Maybe MC and Chip will try and take down the human traffickers. Maybe they won't be okay with the fact they're paying people and sneaking them into places illegally.
Under horrible conditions,
Yeah.
and a bunch of them die on the way.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Right.
Chip's gonna love it.
God, what are they whining about?
Well, if you've got any theories as to what next week's episode is going to be about or how the season is going to end, there are numerous ways in which you can get in touch with us. You can find us on Facebook. We're at facebook.com/howiRippedOffPodcast.
And we are also on Twitter at HowIRippedOff.
And you can find our entire back catalogue that you can send to a friend and be like, hey, go listen to this show. It's not very good. You like it. On SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, iTunes and YouTube. And I'm really happy I said SoundCloud correctly the first time around there.
I'm so proud of you. And we'd appreciate it very much if you would leave us a rating and a review, as it stokes our fragile little egos. They're very fragile, and
That's
they
the only
need
reason.
all the stoking they can get.
Yeah, I mean, you've heard this season. You know my ego needs a lot of stroking. I need help. Help me. And when this episode drops your way, we're probably still going to be in lockdown, MC.
Yeah, indeed.
And I know a lot of people are struggling during this really difficult time, so this is just our weekly reminder to look after yourselves. You are the most important person in your life, and if you can't look after yourself, it's going to be very difficult to look after people as well. Reach out to people if you need to. If you feel like you haven't got anyone to reach out to, come and message us. We'll just have a nice friendly chat with you. We'll talk to you about anything, whether it's Buffy, whether it's miniguns, whatever it is you want to talk about. Come say hello and stay safe and well.